Hello and welcome. I'm Carol DeChaine, and my business is Connect to Joy, which is what I always try and help my clients and my listeners do. I am going to talk, continuing on the theme this month of starting over. It's spring when I'm putting this out, and I want you to be able to find things in your life. We started out the month by deciding when it's time. What do you want to do to start fresh? What area of your life did you want? And how did you want to do it? And making this move, deciding the following week was making the move. And then last week was getting over the fear that always comes up when we have it. And we think, oh my God, what if this doesn't go well? What if I get fired? What if my spouse leaves me if I change? What if fear is there? But this week, we're going to go over putting together the plan. I could have talked about this earlier, but I wanted to talk about the other things first. So when you decide it's time to start fresh in some area of your life, how do you decide what you want to do? Perhaps you talk to a life coach, because that's one of my specialties, helping people put together a plan of action so that this new possibility in their life, they can actually get marching orders and get out there and do it. And maybe little bitty steps might be necessary, and sometimes you want a big steps. So you have to decide what you're comfortable with when you're putting together a plan. Do you want little baby steps? Or do you want maybe an infant-sized step, adult-sized step, quantum leap? What are you comfortable with to start? Do you need a couple small baby steps and then maybe a bigger step? And then a few more baby steps and then another big step? Or are you afraid if you don't jump right into it, you won't do it? Knowing that when I'm talking about starting over, it could be anything from your entire life to a big chunk of it, like maybe your whole career will change, or maybe a smaller piece of it where you're just changing jobs, or something that is as small as asking for a raise, which can feel big, but starting fresh in some area of your life. What the first thing to decide is, how big of steps am I comfortable with? After you look at that, you go, okay, well, this is the kind of stuff I want. I know where I'm at. I know what I want, because that's the deciding what you want ahead of time. So now it's deciding, what kind of plan do I need to get from here to there? So look at where you are. Look at where you want to be. What kind of stuff has to happen in the middle? Who do you have to become to be over here? Because if you look at who you'll be when you get where you're going, with however if you have a new job, a new career, a new spouse, being divorced, maybe you want to discover your life purpose and live it, whatever it may be, who would you be if you were here? How would you feel? Would you have more learning? Maybe you have to go back to school, and so you have to put that in your plan. Maybe you'd have a lot more money. Maybe you would have different people in your relationships. Maybe you'll have a happier work life, or wherever you need to be. How are you feeling besides that? Once you know who you are over there, are you feeling more loved? Are you feeling more fulfilled? Are you feeling more like you can do it because you did? So forget where you're at the moment and look at how you would be if you already achieved what you want. And then go, okay, then maybe I can become some of those things now. Maybe the feelings I have, like feeling accomplished, feeling loved, feeling whatever it is you would feel over here, you can start taking on earlier, because you're going to have over here attracted to you much faster if you raise up. Actually, let's put it this way. Here, you need to raise yourself up to have this happen. And if you start doing this, this will start coming together faster. I hope that makes sense. So let me explain it a little more. If you start becoming more, you act like you love yourself more if you want to be here and loving yourself. If you start giving yourself more time, more care, you're going to start attracting things to you that are different. Maybe even different possibilities for your plan than what you thought. Maybe you'll start leapfrogging over some of the things that you thought you had to take steps with, because you shifted who you were now a bit. Even it's a 0.5% or something. It might help you shift faster to what you want. So when you put together a plan, realize that when you're looking at where you want to be, what do you need to get from here to there? How big of steps do you need to take? And how many do you want to cut them up to be? Do you want the 5 steps you're looking at going, I need to go to school, I need to get a degree, I need to get more money somewhere to get the degree, and maybe you're saying, well, these are all the blocks. Now, how do I roll? It's like they're dice. How do I roll the dice, and which order do I put them in order to build this new foundation? More like building blocks for that. What do I do? So look at all the things you need to get from here to there. Lay them all out. Figure out all the steps you might have to take, and you may not know all the steps. That's why people don't do it. They know steps A, B, C, and then they got no idea how to get by this big chasm that they're seeing of, oh, look, I have no money. Oh, look, I have no time. Oh, look, I have, or I can't do, because that's what they don't know how to do. But if you can figure out any of the beginning steps, you can start on the path anyway. Say, I know A, B, and C. I can do those 3 things. Let me do those with an open heart and see what happens. Maybe something will show up. And then ask for what you need that you don't know how to get to. Ask not necessarily another person, although you can do that as well, but ask the universe. Just say, hey, this is what I want. If I'm supposed to do this, show me the money. Show me the whatever I need to do to get from here to there. Show me how I can find the time. Show me. You're going to find that things happen. I know when I wanted to be a life coach, I said, I just went through a divorce. I don't have the cash to be putting into this, not the kind of cash it's going to take. And I wanted to take all the classes and get through the advanced. Said, I got to figure out exactly where I want to go and how much it's going to cost. That was a step. I said, I can do that step. So I looked into that. I figured it out. I also wanted to be more of an intuitive. I wanted to take classes that would help me practice that. I looked into that. I went, okay, that's how much this costs. So I had A, B, and C. I knew the steps. I also wanted a bigger energy, a stronger energy than what I was working with for an energy worker, a light worker. And I didn't see that right away. So I kept that open in my head for it to come later. And I ended up asking for money. I said, okay, I did steps A, B, and C. I don't know how to do D. D involves money. I have to give it to these people. I don't know what to do. I did start the intuitive training because I went, that only costs a little bit each month, and I can do that. So let me pay a little bit each month to them because that I already have. But the other money was like, it's thousands of dollars. I can't do this. I asked for money. I literally sat in my car when I was at my day job at lunch and said, I need money for this. If I'm supposed to do this, this is my life purpose, I need the money. I'm not going into savings. Thank you. And I literally let it go. I went, I have no idea what's going to happen. I let it go. That was a Friday. On Wednesday, I received a call and they asked me, I had a former boss asked me to do something for him and told me actually it was already, they already in this foundation, they had already voted me in without me even knowing I was on the agenda. So it was pretty fascinating that all the money I needed was going to be there by the end of the year. And I was going to get it in increments right when I needed it for all of the classes I wanted to take. And I looked at it and I thought, uh-oh, that plan, that part of the plan I didn't know, it showed up. There it was. It was like, oh, geez, now I guess I got to do what I was planning on doing. I have to start fresh. I have to continue what I was going to do and do it because I asked and I got it. So be ready when you have a plan. If you don't know part of the plan on how to get from here to there, you can ask around, you can go on Facebook, you can talk to people. But the best thing to do is to ask the universe and see what kind of ideas you get. I didn't have to do anything. It just came to me. The universe had already set it up and I didn't know it. Exactly when I needed it. Within 5 days, well, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, yeah, within 5 days, I had the money. Well, I didn't have the money. I had the knowledge of where the money was coming from. And I went, oh. And by the time the first payment came for that year for what I was elected to do, that was when I needed to put the money down for the first set of classes. And I was going, wow, this is ridiculous. This is thank you. I'm not going to say I don't deserve it. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to say thank you. So look at your plan that you can put together, knowing where you came from and where you're going to, and how are you going to get from here to there. And do as many steps as you know how. You can ask other people as well. You can find a mentor. They'll tell you some of the things you may have to do that you don't know. Somebody who's already over here, somebody successful that you can say, hey, I want to do what you do. I want to do something similar. How did you make it work for you? And then you can go, maybe that'll fill in some of those steps that you need in your plan. There are so many different ways. You may know all the steps and you just don't know it. That's one of the reasons I love working with my clients, because sometimes they've got 4 steps out of 8. But when we talk, they actually know the other steps, or they know where they can find the answers. And I just need to say, hey, can you go ahead and where can you go for these? And all of a sudden they'll start having these ideas and they'll go, oh my God, what about this? Oh, I could do that. And I could talk to these people about that. And all of a sudden they have a plan, at least maybe not A to Z, but they know A to L now. And then they start talking to people and start working down the line of what they want, still not knowing how they're going to make this last leap, but they're working towards it. And all of a sudden they get to a point where they have a bunch more answers and they leapfrog. And sometimes you have to be aware that you can't always follow your plan exactly. So be on the lookout when you have new information, you feel a little differently about where you're headed. You might need to tweak your plan. Don't be so caught up in what you had planned to do that you aren't willing to do that. Because sometimes the smallest tweak will make everything work. Maybe you're approaching something a little off and you go, maybe if I do this instead, and bang, there it is. All of a sudden, everything falls into place. Be willing to accept that new information that comes in. Because when you're starting over and you're starting fresh in some area of your life, or maybe all of your life, you need to pay attention to the universe. People will say something. Friends will say something. Facebook friends will say something. A TV show will say something. You get something strange in the mail that's advertising something that you read and you go, oh my God, there's something in here that helps me. It's an idea that comes to you when you read even an advertisement in the mail. So just pay attention. Once you know you are ready to start over, you're making your plan, know that it's all going to fall into place, but you have to be willing to start taking the steps even without knowing what they are. And then the universe will go, oh, I better start rolling it out for her. She's heading in the direction. She better get here. And like I said, when things come up, know everybody has fears. That's last week. Know that if you get into the, oh, what if it doesn't work? It's okay. Everybody has that. And know that you can trust the universe to be there for you. Trust that what you need is what you're going to get, whatever it may be. You deserve it. You deserve to start fresh, to have a joyful, happy life. And you can do that. But you can't let those fears stop you from even starting. Like I said at the beginning, when I started this month off, if you feel like, oh, I really want to decide to do this, I'm not happy with this, but maybe next week. Maybe I'll prioritize it and myself next year. Maybe 2 years down the line. Sometimes that makes sense for specific reasons, but if you do that all the time and you look back 20 years and you say, I have never changed, I've never made that fresh start I wanted to make, you never will. Unless you stop and you say, no, it's time. I need to make that move now. Or maybe tomorrow, but at least closer to never. I mean, closer than never, I should say. And nobody ever thinks I'm never going to do it. So pay attention to how long you've been wanting to make a change and see if you aren't worth taking that time, that investment, that effort to make those changes for yourself now so you can have that life that you want. I know you deserve it. You just have to feel like it too. Thank you for joining me here today. If you'd like to contact me or know more about me, you can look on my website, Connect to Joy. That is going to be the link below the video. And of course, please subscribe to my YouTube channel And if you'd like to click on the bell notification to know the next time that a video is put out there. And if you'd like to hear more, you can not only look through the YouTube channels for guided meditations and the Joy Corner, which are I Am affirmations, you can also listen to my podcast, Living Your Limitless Life, which is available almost everywhere. And as well as that, of course, as a life coach, as an intuitive, and as a Marconic multidimensional energy recalibration practitioner and teacher, by all means, reach out and let me know if I can be of assistance on your journey and your transformation. Until next week.